If you want to learn how to save over $15,000 on a low income stream, this is the best video you will find on YouTube. Hello, my name is Steven Smith, and if your family was like mine, you probably didn't speak about financial literacy, managing your money, starting a budget, or investing. But today, not only will I give you the best tips in order for you to save over $15,000 on a low income, I will also be providing you with the tools to do so. And you're going to see how easy it was for me to save $15,000 on a low income stream, and it's going to be the same for you. So join me on the computer, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can also save over $15,000 on a low income. All right, so I'm going to tell you the exact same tips how I was able to save over $15,000 on a low income by managing my money properly. And you're going to be able to do the exact same thing. If you can't tell, I'm very excited. I spent a lot of time creating this video and these tools for you guys to use. So I really do hope that you appreciate it, and I hope that it helps a lot of people. All right. So I'm going to get right into it. Tip number one is going to be obvious. You're going to need to start a budget, but I've created something so wonderful for you guys. If you go to my website, successwithstevensmith.com, you can download my budget calculator. This is the same one that I use to keep track of my budget. I'm going to also put a link in the description. So when you click on the link, it's going to be presented just like this. But what you'll want to do is go in there and actually save a copy. So go to make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit this and make your own budget. And this is really, really easy to use, guys. It shows your projected expenses, your actual expenses. And as you can see, I kind of made some template type information based off of my old budget that I had. And if you scroll down, I put, rent, electricity, gas, internet, all of that, car payment, grocery money, money I use just for fun. And I totaled exactly how much was my expenses. And it was around $3,500 a month. As you can see here, depending what you put here, that's going to actually show the total expenses that you have over here. Let me delete this actual. All right, so 3,500 in a year, it's going to come over here and show you exactly right here how much your total expenses are. And then you would type in what your annual salary is. You put that here. Now, based off of that, it's going to tell you exactly how much it should be transferring to your savings in a year. I did around 27%. So 27% of 15,000 ends up being $1,250, right? If you scroll down to where it says save 15,000 in a year, it shows you January, February, March, April, all the months and exactly what you would have. And let's say that, for example, I increase this to, what if I made $60,000 a year? Something like that. It changes, right? Now it says that you're going to save 18,000. What if my rent wasn't 1750? What if my rent was just 1500? You scroll down here, look at that. It changed to 3,200 for my expenses. That also changed my total expenses here. Because what it does is it takes the total income, total expenses, it gives you what your net is, and the remaining is going to give you what you can save. So, guys, this tool is completely free. I spent a lot of time making it. Download it right now. That is for you to have. Please download that. Now, let's get back into the budget tips. So, tip number one, again, is start a budget. I saved 27% of my total annual income. I think that is a feasible number for most of us. So, to start this process, you want to reduce any expenses that you have. So, what I recommend is you grab 3 months of bank statements. Why? Most banks ask you for 3 months of your banking history to see a consistent spending habit. 90 days is a consistent spending habit. So you want to get in the idea of looking back 90 days. Now you're going to go through with the highlighter and you're going to stop paying for things that you don't need. That means streaming services, subscriptions, if you're going to expensive restaurants, your phone bill, if you can go to a different carrier or reduce that. If there are features on there that you don't need, take a look at it. Look at lowering your auto insurance, call around, see if there's cheaper companies, reduce your electricity, turn off those power strips. If you have a utility bill, turn the gas off, if the heat off, if you're not using it, things of that nature. Anything that you can do to reduce your expenses, we want to start there. After you do that and you've gathered all of your bills and you added them all up, I want you to go to your calculator and put in all of your projected bills. Put them all there, right? That way you get a total. And when you go to your calculator and you look at total expenses, you will see the total minus how much you make per year. And you can get that from your W-2 form. So get that and you will see your net. And then we will have an idea of what we can save. So that is tip number 1, and that is our tool. Tip number 2, you need to automate your bills. This is probably one of the most important things because this made my life so much easier. So when I was still working at my job, I believe this was 2021 or 2020, but I went to work. I distributed my paycheck into 3 different accounts. This is how I did it. I had one account that was going to deposit all of my bills into it. So add up all your bills, however much your bills cost per month, divide that by 2, and you're going to take that amount and put it into your bill account. Perfect, right? Then the money that you're going to save, you're going to take that, you're going to divide that by 2, and that's what's going to come out of your paycheck every 2 weeks. Let me tell you what that's going to do. You'll never have to move your money to save it. You'll never have to look at your bills again. I never had to look at my bills after automating this. And in the remaining balance you're going to have on your personal account, that's what you have to spend for the next 2 weeks. So this is what would happen. I would get paid. My bill money would go into bill money for automatic payments. Bills are taken care of. My savings money would go into savings. It's already done. That covers your food, your bills, gas, everything. It's already there. What I have left on my card is what I have left to spend. So if it's $200, that's all you have left. I believe you could go into your direct deposit and you could choose specific amounts. And then there's one called like balance, where whatever is remaining is what goes into the next account. Automating your bills will literally make things so easy. This takes some of the pressure off because, again, you'll never have to look at your bills. You'll never have to look at it. You'll never have to move money to save it and accidentally spend more than you need to spend. Now, this does take discipline, but for me personally, this was one of the biggest things that helped. So I wouldn't touch my savings or look at it. Bill money will automatically pay the bills, and my play money was what was on my card. And give yourself a decent amount for play money, all right? Because you're not a robot. You're a human being. Give yourself a reasonable amount to do a couple little things that you can still have fun, but of course, don't waste your money. All right, let's go to our next tip. Tip number 3. Get a high yield savings account. Now, some of you may have never heard about this, so I'm going to put this in the description below as well. These are the best online savings account of March 2024, so you can make your money work for you. You do not have to use these. You can Google and see what high yield savings account works best for you, but we're going to be using these as an example. So as you can see, these are saving accounts that can save you up to, I believe the highest is around 5.32%. So there's SoFi where you can earn 4.6%. There is Raisin where you could earn 5.32%. Synchrony 4.75. American Express savings 4.35, and so on and so forth. You guys can click on this, or again, just now that you're aware of a high yield savings, you're probably going to want to do some research and find out what's the best one for you. These are some good examples of 2024. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what a high yield savings is going to do for you. Now, when we're budgeting, we're trying to make sure that not only are we saving money, but our money is also working for us. So check this out. Depending on the type of budget that you're on, if you make, let's say, when I looked up the national average, I know some people it's going to be different, but I looked up the national average of how much the average American makes, and it's around $56,000. And then I added up all the bills, and I got around $3,000. Seems like a feasible amount to have for your monthly bills. So with that, you really should be able to save $15,000 or more. Now, let's say that you were depositing $1,250 on the example that I just gave. That would be the amount that you would be depositing on a monthly basis for 12 months. Now, as you can see, $1,250 in this Raisin high yield savings account at 5.26%, your annualized earning is $65.79. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but watch when I do this. Let's bring that to 15,000. Your annualized earnings on that 15,000 is now $789.52. Some people have never heard of a high yield savings where you could make almost $800 by just putting your money in this account. I hope you see where I'm going with this. That's an additional $800 in your pocket just for saving your money. You're being rewarded for saving your money. So the next tip that you need to make sure when you're distributing all that money into a savings account, it's a high yield savings. You need to make your money work for you. All right. So let's go to tip number 4. You need to get a high interest checking account. And just like the previous step, I'm just going to show you the best online checking accounts of March 2024. And again, there's SoFi, there is Discover, there is Chime, there is US Bank, HSBC, and so on and so forth. Again, I'm going to put this in the description. You can click on this so you can look at it, or you can also do research and maybe you'll find one that works best for you. Now, for Discover, you earn 1% cash back. Let me get my calculator out so I can show you what that does for you. Let's look at it like this. If you had a checking account and you had your bills going into that checking account, remember, if bills are around $3,000, that's kind of what I had in mind for the average person. If you multiply that by 0.01, that's going to give you 1%. Of course, 1% of 3,000 is $30. But if you were to basically keep depositing that same amount on a monthly basis, you would get $30 times 12. You would get an additional $360. So remember, we were already going to get an additional $800 for our high yield. Now we get an additional $360. So now we have an additional $1,160 that we're going to add on to the money that we were already going to be saving anyway. Amazing, right? Okay, cool. So make sure you're going to get not only a high yield savings, but you want a high interest checking account. And again, do some research. There may be something even better. But this is just one that I used for an example. Tip number 5, never use debit cards, only credit. Now, here's why. If you're a person with good credit, you probably are already aware of rewards. And once you get to a certain point in your credit journey, you no longer just have credit cards for high limits. You have credit cards to get rewards. There are some credit cards with sometimes promotional offers where you could get damn near 10% back of your money. And to put that into perspective, if you were to spend $100,000 on that card, you would get $10,000 back for money you were going to spend anyway. So I'm not going to show you the good cards because obviously if you have good credit and you have a good rewards card, you can just use that card. But think about it like this. Every time we spend money, we need to be making money. So you can do this one of two ways, because it probably sounds confusing with what I said about setting up the deposit for automatic payment. You can set up your credit card for auto pay, then set up that checking account either with the debit card or checking account to automatically pay the total. So your credit card could pay all your bills and then your account can pay the credit card. That way, if the credit card is paying you 2% cash back, not only are you getting 2% cash back, you're getting 1% cash back over here, and then you're also getting your high yield checkings. And we're going to show you, we're going to go over and see what that looks like next. But I'm going to give you a few examples of some credit cards that anyone should be able to qualify for in almost any situation. Now, this is the Amazon Secure Card. Now, why did I pick this one? Amazon is the biggest e-commerce platform in the world. They say, I think, at least 80% of Americans have Amazon Prime, and the other 20% still make, I believe, at least over 30 Amazon purchases in a year. So the point is people spend money on Amazon. So with this Amazon Secure Card, you would fund the account yourself. It's a secure card, of course, so you give them a deposit, and then you're able to spend money on this card. Now, of course, you're thinking, why would I give them my money? It's because with this card, one, there's only 10% APR if you didn't have to pay it back, but you get 2% back on all of your purchases. Again, we got to start looking at small amounts add up to big amounts. Everything starts off small. Nothing starts off big. It always starts off small. And until you learn about compound interest, you won't understand how small things have significant effects. Okay? So again, you could use this Amazon card to get 2% back on Amazon because a lot of people spend money on Amazon. And this is a card that you'll likely be approved for. Again, if you have a better card like a Bank of America, a Chase, or whatever, if you have good credit and you have that card, use that card. If you don't, then you could use this card. Again, these limits are low on this card. So of course, if your bills are, then you have to keep making the payment. Of course, because I mean, if your bills are $3,000 a month, this card is $200. Obviously you have to keep buying and paying it back, buying and paying it back. But I think that that's worth it, just to be able to get that 2%. Now, the next one I'm looking at, and that Amazon card is not a Visa or a MasterCard. It's just for Amazon. Keep that in mind. But here's another one that most people can get approved for, but you can also get pre-approved at no risk to you. It is the Quicksilver Secured Card for Capital One. You earn 1.5% cash back for all of your purchases. Again, we need to start making sure that every time we spend money, our money is working for us at all times. And again, this is a card that anyone could qualify for. And if you have a better card, use the better card. All right. Now, the last card on the list is the Discover It card. Again, everyone should be able to qualify for this card in most instances. And that's why I'm choosing it. And you earn 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants on up to $1,000 in combined purchases each quarter. Plus, you earn an unlimited 1% cash back on all your purchases. Now, when we're talking about spending, we're going to try to put all of our expenses for the year. Remember, I had an annualized expense. The annualized expense was $39,000. So let's do this. If you spent $39,000 on your credit card, again, I know for a secured card, it's going to be kind of hard for you guys. Some people have high limits where they're over $3,000 and they could easily just set it up for automatic payment. The people who have the smaller ones, I understand you're going to have to make multiple payments. That will be kind of difficult, but the general idea is what I want you to understand. So if you have 1% back for all of your expenses, that's $390 that you're going to get back over the course of a year. That's $390 plus $360. Plus, remember, around $800 for the high yield savings. You just saved an additional $1,550. Look at that, guys. Just from spending your money on a rewards card, just from you getting a high yield checking account and a high yield savings, you just made yourself $1,550. This is how you save, and this is how you also have your money work for you at the same exact time. Okay? Now, tip number 6, if you have any interest rates on loans like auto loans, mortgages, balance transfers. I know right now isn't the best time, but if the time does come, or at the time you're watching this video, we have low interest rates, please take a look at that. Look at refinancing your auto loan. Look at refinancing your mortgage loan to get a better interest rate so that you can save money. Look at balance transfers for your credit card. If you don't know what a balance transfer is, it's where you get a credit card that maybe has like a nice size limit, like 30,000. You then pay off all of your credit cards that have a balance, and you put that balance all onto this one card. And then that one card usually has a promotional offer where it has no interest for 12 months. Then you're just paying on the principal. So you're going to save on the interest. This is just other ways that you could save money. And of course, when we save money, we don't want to spend it. Just because you have it doesn't mean you got to spend it. You want to add that to your savings. Whatever you add additional, you put back into the savings account. But this is definitely something that you could look at when it does become a viable option. Again, it may not be a viable option at this time, but it will become a viable option in the future. Now, bonus tip, you can use cashback apps. You can earn every time you shop on gas, groceries, or food using Upsides app. And if you guys don't know what Upside is, it's a shopping app that just makes all of your shopping work for you. So you can get like 8% cash back on Dunkin', for example, Circle K, Domino's, Shell, Conoco, Taco Bell, Racetrack, Arby's. There's a lot of places on here where you can earn cash back. And from what I've seen in my experience, you can usually earn back 1%. This is a free app. So think about this, guys. If you were really spending any additional money on here and you got 1% cash back, if you had any extra money that had to go towards gas, Dunkin', all this other stuff, and you can get an additional 1% cash back, I mean, if you were to spend even, $10,000, you may be able to get $100 back. And then there's another one that we have, Rakuten. You can also do the same thing for shopping at Target, Walmart, Kohl's, Sam's Club, PetSmart, Lowe's, Nike. So again, I'm going to pull out my calculator. Remember, we got up to, I think it was $1,550. Now imagine using this for a couple of shopping, maybe your groceries, a couple things here and there. I think you could probably save an additional $200 in the year just from using this with cashback. So now you've saved an additional $1,750 on top of what you've already set aside by using your budget calculator. Again, you're double dipping. Not only are you getting money back you're getting money back from the interest account, you're getting money for the high yield, you're getting money for using the rewards apps and cashback apps, you're getting money for using the credit card. You're getting money back every way that you could possibly get it. Okay? And then this is my biggest bonus tip and what I want you guys to keep in mind, because this is what you learn about compound interest. I want you to see what would happen if you did this for 3 years. Okay, this is the Investopedia, and it is the historical performance of the S&P 500 average return. So it says the average annualized return since the S&P 500 index inception through 1998 to December 31st of 2023 is 9.90%. The average annualized return since adopting 500 stocks into the index in 1957 through December 31st, 2023 is 10.26%. So on average, you can get 10% back from investing your money into the S&P 500. So just stick with me. Please stick with me. Let's go ahead and pull up this calculator. Okay, so this is the Capital Group investment calculator. Now, at the end of this, if this was done successfully and you save $15,000 plus you also got $1,750 additional. So now you have $16,750. Remember, we looked at the high yield. If we go back to the high yield calculator, you'll see that as the years continue, you'll just keep getting more and more money. Now I'm just gonna do a rough calculation because if you were to just say 15,000, you would have what? 45,000. Let's say, and I know that this is a modest return, but after about 3 years, you probably would have over $50,000. But let's just say you had $50,000 from doing this for 3 years. $50,000. Now, what I suggest that you do is put that money into the S&P 500 index and let's leave it in there for 10 years. If you were an 18-year-old and you did that for 3 years, by the time you were 21, you'd have over $50,000, but we'll use $50,000 being modest. Over the next 10 years, you're going to probably start new jobs, get it, work. I would say that in that time frame, if you keep living within the same budget, I think you can double the amount of money that you're putting into your budget. I think you can get up to $2,500 per month, which would double what you were already putting in. Now, we're going to take away 2% for inflation, and we're going to submit. So with that, if you were a 21-year-old, in 13 years, by the time if you were 18, started, in 10 years from that, so a total of 13 years, you would have $500,000. You'd have $561,154.25. Okay, let's go ahead to another calculator and let's do it again. All right, 50,000, 10 years, 8%, your additional contribution. I think you're going to do more than that, but let's just say that you end up doing 2,500. 561,154. Just want to make sure. Yep, we're getting the same number. Now let's say that, and what I'm saying, guys, is if you're an average person who doesn't want to be like the next Steve Jobs, you don't want to have to hustle and have 3 jobs and do all this stuff and become an influencer. And this is just for a regular guy who's making $50,000 right now. A regular guy can do this. But let's say you think 10 years is too long, 13 years is too long. Okay, that's too long, but we're on a low income. You're going to have to eventually increase the income. And this is all just a bonus tip. Let's say eventually you learn how to make money online, you sold a product, did e-commerce, real estate, what have you, and you were able to put away an extra $5,000. Okay. Well, now $5,000, if you started with $50,000, you deposit that into the S&P 500, and every single month you contributed $5,000 at a 8% rate of return, you would have over $1 million within 10 years. And again, you may see this and think that's a long time. If it's a long time, then this is for $15,000 is cool to save on a low income and it's feasible. You can do it. But if you want to make it to where you don't have to work again, you're going to have to increase your income. Then you're going to have to increase it. At that point, you're going to have to, if you have to work a job and get a side hustle, whatever it takes to get that $5,000 into that account or again, if you want it to be faster, you got to increase the money. If you want it to be faster, if you want it to be at half that time, even half that time so 7 years will get you over the million. Well, actually 6.5. 6.5 will get you there. It depends on how fast that you want it, right? But on a low income, being a regular guy, working a regular job, doing nothing but regular stuff, you can have over $500,000 in that time frame. Now, let's say again that you did hustle up and you got a side hustle and you kept doing the exact same thing and you were able to do the $5,000 extra a month for 10 years at an 8% annual rate of return. You made $1,014,362. I want to show you one last thing and then we're done. I want to show you this dividend calculator for this company called Altria. Altria right now has a dividend yield of 9.43%. Okay, pretty cool. So the closing price was $41.55 as of today. Let's pull up the dividend calculator. If you had your 1,114,000, you're gonna have to excuse me. I think that is it. And we divided that by the actual price of this stock. I think it was 41.55. You're gonna have 24,101 shares. So 24,101 shares. So now, if you took that money that you made in the S&P 500 after the 13 years, you could get a dividend payout of $94,475.92. Congratulations, you're a millionaire. And if you could live on, I would say, at least $60,000 per year and reinvest the rest, you will continue to grow your wealth. And as long as your expenses don't exceed what you're receiving for your dividend payouts, you'll never have to work again. Congratulations. You did it. You beat capitalism. So if this was interesting to you guys, I hope that you got more than this than just saving $15,000. What I really hope is that it puts it in perspective how when you use money and you compound it properly, even if you're just a regular guy, you can do it. You can beat the game and you can do what you want. You can be financially liberated. You can do it. And if you want it to happen faster, then hey, work harder, make more money, get more jobs, do whatever it is that you have to do. My thing is investing money will grow faster than working hours. So I find ways to make money, to have it come faster, to reinvest it, to get to this point. That's what I do. It makes sense to me, and then I have more time to do what I care about doing. So I really do hope that not only you learned how to make over $15,000 on a low income budget, I hope that you just learned you could become a millionaire on a low income budget. It's not about the money that you make. It's about what you do with the money. That's what it's about. And if you want it faster, you need to put in more. If you want it at a steady pace, you could do this realistically. You can do it and you can retire. So, man, please go to my website or the link in the description. Please download that calculator. Download it. Please start doing your budgets. Start learning about high yield checking accounts. Start looking at Roth IRAs. Start looking at ways to invest your money. If you want more content on this, let me know. I'll make more content. I just really, really hope that you got something out of this, and I really hope that it does help you guys. Download that calculator, like, subscribe, and not only that, share this with people so they can know how to do this too. You guys have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time.